Bingo, Dino DNA. It's Mike Levin, Friday, August 21st, at around 9 a.m., 2015. And I'm out walking the dog, and a bunch of birds here. Anyway, I will be coding from home today on my Code from Home Friday, and I hope to get back to the talking head coding videos, the screen captures. And Pipulate is in the kind of the final stretch here to revision 1. I'm finishing up something I've been calling interstitial screens, because I originally wanted Pipulate to be something where you just click the bookmarklet and bam, it began doing whatever it knew to do based on the context of the bookmark being clicked. But that's not really a reality. So I put a drop-down menu next to the bookmarklet. And now, every time you had to do the most common thing in Pipulate, which is to replace question marks, you had to switch the drop-down menu to replace question marks, and I made that default automatically to that option. But all those other options have things that require further parameters, like crawl site. Is it going to be a light crawl or a more in-depth crawl? Is it going to go all the way to the visualization of the website or not? So I am doing something I'm calling interstitial screens, which are just basically secondary options. After you choose something from the drop-down menu and hit Pipulate, you get presented with a list of additional options, such as crawl depth, or if it's clearing sheet 1, it's a chance to change your mind. Of course, you can always get it back with a revision history, but still. And then a big area I need to develop is what I'm calling set up new client. But really, it's set up new anything, where I create whatever tabs I need for the concept of jobs. So each file in Google Spreadsheets and Files is really just a mental construct. All these things are stuff living in probably Google's big table somewhere, with a web interface making it feel like files, but nonetheless it's a convenient grouping. The file grouping becomes a single client, and then the tabs in there are all the various types of work we do for the client. One of them will be keywords, and another will be like monitoring search engine positions, kind of like a little backup to Bright Edge. And then another might be, monitor pages to make sure that optimizations we've made in the past stay intact, and so on. Probably even just checklists that we did every deliverable type that we're supposed to, or have considered each deliverable type on a regular basis, weekly or monthly. Things like duplicate content checking against the internet at large to see if anyone's plagiarizing the site. Not the kind of thing that you necessarily automatically schedule, but you do want to manually spot check every once in a while, and you want to be reminded. And that's the kind of thing Pipulate is designed to do too. Automation is a dream, an illusion. You can never fully automate a task. If you do, that means it's been reduced to algorithmic, non-human intervention. And then machines take it over, and then the machines are competing against each other, and then it becomes a spam cannon. And a lot of Google's existence is based on invalidating all those automation techniques that auto-optimize. So auto-optimization bad, partial automation good. Little things here and there that are normally tedious to do, tedious and manual, and those things that can't be automated, just bring to your attention, kind of like a pestering system with notifications or emails, but rolled up sufficiently into summary emails so that the pestering does not desensitize the person using the product. So actually the email notification system is another thing that I want to do, although I'm not going to get that into this final stretch. That can be after the release of revision 1, because it has its own issues. I don't particularly want to slow things down based on the lack of email or other types of notifications. So the final stretch here consists of fleshing out what each of the interstitial screens are, the secondary menu options, to make a few of the processes sort of happen one after another instead of being separate pipulation steps, so that when you choose one of these setup things, it's actually kind of a macro. First it creates the tabs, then it pipulates against a few of the tabs, and you know, it's the equivalent of doing several separate actions in Pipulate, it all chained up. Same with a crawl, because you know, first you do the crawl and then you go out and you do secondary lookups against things that that you found, and then finally you want to, you know, auto feed it directly into a visualization so that you can see that sort of 3D rotational model of your website, so you can see how many things are linking off of page 1, and then how many things are linking off of your page 2s, and probably going down to a click depth of 3, which really only requires visiting 2 levels of the pages. You can visit your home page and your, you know, pages linking off of it, and based on the links found on the pages linking off of your home page, you actually have the data of a click depth of 3, even though you didn't visit that 3rd level of pages. Even going down 3 levels deep truly to get the 4th level of clicks off of the home page is an awful lot of data, and could be thousands or tens of thousands of pages in Google spreadsheets, and I don't want to make people commonly have to wait through that. So I'll probably offer a click depth of 1, which just visits the page that you were on when you click the bookmarklet and grabs the links off of it, or a click depth of 2, which goes 1 step further and gives you can draw a visual of 3 click depth, even though you just visited 2. What else? Yeah, so that's the final stretch there, finishing out the crawler stuff, perhaps creating that first visualization, creating the interstitial menus, and creating the first setup template to set up new client, to do the most common things that we need to do for departmental processes, and sort of tracking each client's progress over the months and the years. And that's today. It sounds like an awful lot, but it's less than it might sound like, because I'm now just connecting the dots of the components that I've already built. It's like building all the different components of a car and then finally just assembling all the parts together. It seems like that last step is much bigger than it really is, when most of the, you know, deep work, the hard work, went into the making of the components. And maybe I'll do a video or 2. Certainly after that work is done, I'm going to be getting back into the making of video modes to show how to use Pipulate this way and that in almost every aspect of what professionals and aspiring professionals need to do in the field of search engine optimization or social media, and even various aspects of content marketing, because although it won't make the content, it's everything you need to sort of track the content life cycle. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for this particularly long ramble, but I did have a lot to say this morning. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.